Hey there! Welcome back to Reddit Dating, best channel for cheating stories. Make sure to like and subscribe the channel for more spicy stories.
When is D-Day, really? My wife, 37/F, and I have been married for 12 years, and we have been together for 16 years. We met while attending college. We have a 6-year-old daughter. We've been putting money aside for years, and we finally purchased our first home last year. Things have been hard, but we've managed to maintain a long-term relationship despite the difficulties. At this point, I'm not even sure what to name the landings on D-Day. The truth is a tangled web of contradictions. Is this the first time I've heard about something that's been going on for months? Isn't it the previous week? What happened last night? Alternatively, it may be today. It's possible that D-Day occurred last year. It began in the same way that all of these things begin. My wife had been up late on her phone, texting someone she didn't know. It could have been relatives or friends, but something didn't feel quite right. Despite the fact that she had been quite careful and discreet about her phone, I spotted an opportunity and took advantage of it when she was taking a shower. She had been flirting with her coworker Jack Harkness in a semi-deliberate manner. I'm at a loss for words when it comes to describing it. Even though it was obvious that this was a new friendship, she was taking a risk. Much more assertive than I'm accustomed to seeing from her, as well as a little sexual. I questioned her about it and she agreed to talk. She stated that she did not believe she had done anything wrong and that the incident was the fault of a coworker. She was enraged with me because I had snooped around. The next morning while getting ready for work, she leaves her phone on the nightstand, which has been secured since. However, a notification from Jack appears on the screen. At 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't confront her because I don't want to wake up my son, so I don't. In any case, I'm terrible at confrontation. That afternoon, I bring it up with my therapist and she agrees. Apparently, he believes I should confront her about it and inquire as to what is going on. Inquire as to where her phone is. And that is exactly what I do. When she gets home, I ask her if she wants to see her cell phone. She declines to participate. She has the right to be left alone. I inquire as to whether she has been in contact with him. She claims that he has messaged her maybe 2 or 3 times. I am adamant about watching it. She claims that I'm delusional and that I should get professional counseling to get over this. I assure her that's fine, and that once I see her phone, I'll go get some help for her. At long last, she gives in. Over the previous 2 weeks, I've received 50 to 100 texts every 2 or 3 days. However, they appear to be innocuous enough, but she nonetheless lied about them. We seek counseling services. Again, we had gone previously when our child was first born, for about 6 months. In our counseling session, our counselor put out a plan for reconciliation, but she was expected to cease any communication with him, as well as a pledge from her to keep divorce off the table. My wife has expressed dissatisfaction with our counselor in recent weeks. We'll never go back to that place again. It's possible that D-Day occurred last week. My wife has been texting with her pals throughout the morning. I can see the pin she uses to unlock her phone. At this point, I'm still on the fence, and it's getting the better of me. I obtain 30 seconds of uninterrupted time during which she leaves her phone out of sight, during which I unlock it. There's just enough time for him to see that she's texting him again, but this time the name has been altered to Harkness J. I don't have a chance to read the messages because I'm working. When I speak with her, I inquire as to whether she is still speaking with Jack. She claims that she is. However, there is nothing there. My friend has never been anything more than a friend, and I never asked her not to speak with him. She said she needed to talk to him because they work together. I don't ask to see the text messages, and she doesn't offer to share them with me. Is it really that important at this point? Would it be of assistance? It's possible that D-Day occurred last night. She had been in a bad mood all day yesterday. Upset. Anxious. You're trying to avoid me. When she's asleep, I steal her phone off her nightstand and put it in my pocket. My heart is beating faster and faster. What happens if she awakens? What am I doing poking around? What will I come across? I'm filled with guilt and dread. I enter the PIN number. Incorrect. This time, there aren't enough digits. Her new PIN is a little bit longer. Well, that's a wrap. I make the decision to sleep on the couch at this point. She gets out of bed and goes downstairs. He inquires as to whether everything is in order. It's at this time that I tell her I have a headache, which is correct at this stage, and that I'm feeling nauseated, also true. She inquires as to whether or not I have a fever or whether I have COVID. I assure her that this is not the case. It was only a sinus headache. She calls my name and wants me to come up to her bedside and tell her what's wrong. I inform her that I believe she is having an affair. She claims she would never do something like that. She inquires as to if this is in reference to the other guy. I inquire as to why she is flirting with him. She explains that it is because it is enjoyable. That is the end of the story. My headache finally gets the better of me, and I tell her I'd like to sleep. I'm assuming today is D-Day. I'm completely exhausted. Both emotionally and physically exhausting. I'm fed up with the trickle of truth that comes out of the leaky faucet. I'm fed up with the nuclear football that is played with cell phones. I'm tired of being paranoid and knowing that I'm always just half right, and that this leaves me feeling like a complete and utter asshole. I'm not sure what I'm going to say when she gets home. I'm bad when it comes to confrontation. All I want is to put an end to this horror. Story 2. Wife cheated on me, more than the act, I hate myself for being and continuing to be a doormat. So, I'm not sure how to begin, so I'll just go right in. I began to notice my wife growing more distant and hiding her phone about the middle of January. I've been cheated on before and gaslit as a result, and as a result, I've experienced severe trauma and developed triggers as a result of it. In my state of mind, I was apprehensive and uncertain, and her reactions when I inquired as to what was going on or whether she wanted to discuss did not put me at ease. In the middle of the night, I crept over to her side of the bed and checked her phone, only to learn that she was flirting with a longtime friend of hers. It was at this time when it became flirtatious. They're calling each other baby, love, and cutie, and she's promising to email him cute selfies, among other things. I confront her, informing her that what she is doing is wrong and potentially upsetting. I know I can't force her to do anything, but I need her to understand how much she's hurting me. She expresses regret and apologizes. Her demeanor does not change, and I am able to get peeks of their talks on her phone and on her laptop. At this time, I beg her to please stop messaging him because she and I are clearly having problems, and I believe you are unable to focus on us while still being flirtatious with him. Behavior has remained same, and I escalate to the point of demanding that she cease all communication with him. It then leads to a squabble between the two of them over whether they should stop messaging him and if they should stop texting him. We have a screaming match, and she decides to go for the weekend in order to clear her thoughts. She comes home and asks me to trust that she is working on things and to allow her some space so that she may finish them. I try my hardest to comply. I have a breakdown twice, once telling her that I can't take it any longer, and the other telling her that I know she is still talking to him and that she is now hiding their messages. She manages to persuade me to stay. I begged her to just leave me the other day because it had become evident that she didn't care about me anymore. It becomes necessary for her to travel back to her hometown. So it's not like she's leaving deliberately to get away from me, this is something she's been planning for quite some time already. She has stated that she will be staying at a friend's house for the week. I'm not going to tell you how I discovered she was lying, but suffice it to say, I discovered it. She was staying with the other gentleman, and the two of them were having sexual relations. I've made the decision to leave her. The physical act is something I might possibly overlook, but the lying is too much for me to bear. I scheduled consultations with divorce attorneys. She texts me 2 nights before she's meant to return home, stating that she wants to come home early and spend more time with us. She does, and I inquire as to what transpired. She attempts to deceive us once more by claiming she did not have sexual relations with the other guy. I tell her that I am aware that this is not the case, and she admits it. I resolve to attend the therapy appointment we had arranged and tell her that I'm willing to try for us and that I'm working on forgiving her for all she's done. Several days pass, with the majority of the outcomes being positive. She opens up in therapy, reveals more about the scenario, and verbalizes her thoughts to such an extent that I'm surprised she's still alive. Today, she's off on a business trip, in the other direction than the other guy, and I have no reason to believe she'll be involved in adultery while on this trip. However, I am aware that she is still communicating with him via text message, nothing explicitly flirty. She claims she has chosen me and wants me to put my faith in her. I inquired as to what she had told him, and she replied, I told him that I don't think he and I are going to work out, and that I'm trying to put some distance between us. I'm just enraged and hurt beyond measure. You chose me, but you tell him that you don't think you'll be able to work out and you continue to text him? You want me to put my faith in you? Why on earth would I want to, when all you've done is lie to me? You've had numerous opportunities to alter your route, but you've chosen to continue on your current path. You've had a husband who has been waiting for you to come home and chat to him, even if he is aware that you are cheating. You don't realize how fortunate you are, and I'm weary of being taken advantage of while following after you and your friends. Then I remember what I've said. And I remember that when she gets home, I'm going to jump right back into her arms and attempt to make things work again. Because I am a weakling. Due to the fact that I wasn't man enough to keep her. In addition, because I am not willing to defend myself, this will most likely happen again. Furthermore, I despise myself even more than I do her.